Welcome to the first AskPrebuilt video. You guys chose that name in the first post, so thanks for that. Today I'm going to be answering a bunch of questions you guys had about 7 Days to Die, me, and just general stuff. If you want to see your question in a future video, do me a favour and start your comment with AskPrebuilt. This will help me very easily filter by those comments. Anyway, let's get into the topics for today. Our first question comes from Egg, who wants to know if there is a way to survive Horde night without a base. And yeah, you can absolutely beat the Horde without a base quite easily. During the Desert Ranger series, I beat the last Horde I did just by standing out in the street and running back and forth. You can also of course stand on top of very tall buildings and they just probably won't get to you. The ultimate no base strat is probably going to be using a fortitude and agility build. You want to grab Rule 1 cardio, machine gunner, and grab run and gun and parkour from the agility tree. You'll obviously want yourself that skill book that makes machine guns better as well. And basically if you just run around hip firing, run and gun will let you reload without a movement penalty, cardio will let you run longer, and machine gunner will actually give you 6 stamina back each time you hit an enemy with a machine gun. There you go, you have infinite sprint. And of course parkour will let you jump up onto things if you get into a dangerous spot. All you need equipment-wise is an AK and some ammo. Josephania wants to know how many zombies could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck zombies? Well, the answer to how many zombies could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck zombies is that he would chuck as much as he could and chuck as many zombies as a woodchuck would, obviously. I'm choosing the name Grumpy Buns here because it's funnier to me. And Grumpy Buns wants to know if damage is affected by how much you draw a bow. The short answer is yes. Here, if you do just a click, you can see the damage it does. And here you can see it halfway drawn. And here you can see it fully drawn. I hope that at least mostly answers your question. Maybe I'll need to go into that more in depth in another video. But basically, yes, it does affect it. Tiago Conceso wants to know what the most exciting thing in Alpha 21 is for me. And the answer there is really simple and quick. It's the spear buff. I'm very bored of the game as it stands, but the spear would be a really refreshing way to play it, but it doesn't really work on high difficulties right now, so making that much stronger and changing how it works will really help refresh the game for me, hopefully. Skychaser wants to know, considering how long it takes for 7 Days to Die to update, which by the way at the time of recording we are currently 15 months without a major content update in 7 Days to Die. Anyway, they want to know if I'll be planning on posting other games I enjoy here on the channel in the near future. Thank you for your question, and yes, in fact, I have already started. As of writing this, I have 2 Valheim videos uploaded, and they did awfully by my standards, but that is to be expected when you start a YouTube channel and pick a niche, in my case 7 Days to Die. It can take a long time to break that restriction and move into other areas. Niching makes growing early on easy, but it makes growing later on a little bit harder. So I have to work on that expansion with videos like this, which are more focused on me, the community, and broader topics, as well as making videos on other games, like in this case, Valheim. So to answer your question, yes, and I already started. I'll link those 2 videos in the description if you want to help my Valheim content along. Steve Dorr wants to know what kind of content I watch when I'm not uploading videos, and if I have urges to say one-liners that other content creators use on the regular. Well, the only person I can think of which has any of those one-liner power words is Lainey from Nerdlit Gaming, and a lot of her power words have infected my vocabulary with phrases such as leave 'em, thriving, and papaya, but otherwise none of the channels I watch have any repeated power words like that. The art of the catchphrase is truly dead. I think we as a society and YouTubers as a whole should really think about bringing those back. Bring back catchphrases in 2023. Lainey from Nerdlit Gaming, yes, the one I just mentioned in the last question, wants to know what I like to do outside of gaming. But honestly, it's mostly boring. I listen to music and watch YouTube, currently going on my yearly Star Wars binge before I get burned out of it again and come back in a year. Otherwise, most of what I do is trying to remember to do basic human tasks like brushing my teeth and eating food. I'm quite a disorganized person despite how my tutorials may make me appear. Okani Yoshi wants to know if I've tried to create a mod, even small mods like changing loot, traders, or some stats. The short answer is yes. I've tried to create a UI mod in Alpha 19, but it turns out I'm not very good at UI design. so that didn't go anywhere. As for more conventional things like changing the loot and item balance, I have not tried to do it, but I am entirely aware of how to do it. It would actually be really easy for me to mod 7 Days to Die via the XML files. The one thing I'm not so sure about is stuff that involves Unity. I know how to edit XML files perfectly fine, and I know how to use Unity, but I don't really know how to get 7 Days to Die's game files to interact with Unity. And honestly, I'm not that interested in doing it anyway, so I haven't really looked into it. But simple XML edits like changing the icons, values, table names, all that kind of stuff to rebalance how my game works or add new items is something I can definitely do. I've just never really wanted to. I did that kind of thing when I was like 11 years old editing the XML for Civilization 4. So fiddling around with 7 Days to Die and the XML would be extremely easy, but again, I don't have any real want to make mods for 7 Days to Die. Especially since I'm a content creator, because as soon as I start releasing a mod that changes something, people are gonna accuse me of using it in videos. Like if I was to make my own spear buff and then make a spear series, even though I wouldn't be using the spear buff mod, people would accuse me of using it, because some people in the 7 Days to Die community are so butthurt about the fact that I'm quite good at this video game, they accuse me of cheating any opportunity they get. I'm really not that impressive, it just makes some of you look really sad when you accuse me of cheating. It's not a difficult game. Anyway, Raven wants to know if there is a future with 7 Days to Die. Absolutely not. I am not doing 7 Days to Die videos for the next 20 years. I do want to become a full-time content creator and make it a full-on career. I hate that word with reference to YouTube, but it is the best word in this case. I wouldn't say 7 Days to Die has any more than 5 more years out of it, and that's a stretch. Never mind 20 or even 30 years that you would expect out of a typical conventional career. We don't really know if YouTube will be around that long. We have no idea if an individual can really stick around that long on the internet yet. We're kind of on the frontier of that kind of thing, and finding out if you can really have the life of being a moron on the internet and getting paid for it. And I fully intend to find out. So no, 7 Days to Die doesn't really have a future in reference to a normal human lifespan anyway. That's no real slight on 7 Days to Die. There's absolutely no single game today that will be relevant in 30 years. If I'm wrong about that, most of you will have forgotten this video, so who cares? I'm probably right though. One thing we can be sure of though is that 7 Days to Die is not going to last as long as I, the individual, will, unless I get hit by a bus or something in the next few years, which could happen but is unlikely. Nox Centurion wants to know what made me choose my signature look in relation to my channel icon. So I picked a white-haired character because I like the silver/white/extremely whitish blonde-haired characters. Examples would be Geralt and Ciri from The Witcher, Lawn Chair Man from Devil May Cry, Asajj Ventress from Star Wars is often depicted with white hair when she actually has hair, she's usually bald. There's 2B, there's Yana from Rainbow Six, and Storm. There's a lot of white/silver haired characters out there, and I kinda just like them. The helmet and ski goggles is just because I like the helmet and ski goggles. They fit well together, and when I made the icon, I was kind of really into using light armor. I'm more of a heavy armor user now, but the heavy armor doesn't exactly make a good channel icon. And black and red is a common motif of a lot of bad guys in games I grew up playing, like the Brotherhood of Nod from Command & Conquer, the Dark Brotherhood from Elder Scrolls, the Daedra from Elder Scrolls, any kind of Sith related thing in Star Wars game. I guess the Legion from Fallout New Vegas would count, as well as all the bad guy characters ever just being that red and black and evil all over trope, and the bad guys always look the coolest. When it came time to brand my channel, I just said, what colors do I like? I thought red and black, and I just did it. Aura wants to know why I love the pack mule perk so much. Majorison wants to know if I will still have functioning brain abilities by the time Alpha 21 comes out, or if I'll be in a nursing home drooling on myself. It is very, very bold of you to assume I'm not already in a nursing home drooling on myself. Kenny wants to know what I think about 7 Days to Die. That is a very broad question, but the short of it is I currently hate playing it. I'm sick of even the mods. It's just I don't want to play this game. I want Alpha 21 before I ever properly play it again. The only time I ever open it is for researching my videos and recording them. The only reason I still make videos on it is because you can't just switch games overnight on YouTube, you have to slowly pivot, like with doing Valheim and other content. They also want to know if a throwback series to Alpha 16 would be more fun. Again, the short answer is just no. I feel actively repulsed when I play this game, and it doesn't matter if it's modded, it doesn't matter if it's like Alpha 15, it's still this game and it gets under my skin. So I definitely need to take a break from just playing the game myself for now. And they also want to know if I'll still be doing content when Alpha 21 is released. 99.9% yes. Unless something amazing happens to my channel and I no longer need 7 Days to Die to grow, I'm going to be doing Alpha 21 content. It's just the smart thing to do. Hopefully it will be a lot more enjoyable for me to play. Either way, I'm just going to milk it for content anyway because it's just easy views to do it and I like making videos, so meh. I'd still rather play 7 Days to Die and make YouTube videos on it than do like a retail job where I have to interact with customers or sit in an office job surrounded by other miserable people. And finally, Stuz wants to know what other survival games I have an interest in covering on the channel. Well, there's of course Valheim in 7 Days, and I'll likely be making Arc 2 content when it actually comes out. I would make Arc 1 content, but I'd just be obliterated by 50,000 hour no-lifers who quit high school to breed gigas for an alpha tribe and treat Arc like it's actually Game of Thrones. So when Arc 2 comes around, I'll probably suck up a bunch of free views and revenue from it while the topic is hot, and then run from my life from the broader Arc community. They're not all bad of course, but a solid percentage of the Arc community is like children, toxic no-lifers, and just general assholes I would like to avoid unnecessary contact with. Kinda like Rust, but if Rust had people who quit their jobs to become good at one thing in Rust, and then comment paragraphs about how they're better at Rust than you. Also, I won't be covering Rust. To get this out of the way, I'm also probably never going to touch Project Zomboid, The Forest, The Sons of the Forest, or Raft. I just generally haven't enjoyed those games when I've played them. Medieval Dynasty is definitely on the cards, it's pretty enjoyable. I'll probably wait for it to get some multiplayer and do streams on it. Grounded has also been a pretty interesting game as of late. If it were 10 years ago when anyone actually still cared about Subnautica, before you commented saying how much you love Subnautica, I'm meaning statistically, I'm sure you do love Subnautica. It's a good game, but statistically it's not very relevant anymore. So a common sentiment you might see in YouTube comments is, hey, just do what you enjoy and don't worry about the numbers, we'll watch whatever you put out. And I'm here to piss on your dreams and tell you that no. Small creators cannot just do what they want, whenever they want, and no, you absolutely would not watch whatever I put out. I have statistical evidence of this. So I do as the data tells me and treat YouTube as a job, because if you don't do it like a job, you'll be outperformed and buried by someone who does treat it like a job. Just kind of lazily doing whatever you want at your own pace on YouTube only really works if you already have 1 million subscribers or the year is 2009. And I don't have 1 million subscribers and it is not 2009, so I must grind by making content that people will actually click on. Whether it's the perfect content that I would want to make for myself or not. The things you see all the big channels currently doing almost definitely do not work down here on D-list YouTube down in the mines. So that's all the questions I want to do for today. This was scripted about 20 hours after the original post being up, and you guys came in fast with those questions. So if you want to see more of these videos, be sure to leave a comment down below. Again, do me a favour and preface it with AskPrebuilt, so that when I search my comments, I can find them all very easily. I plan on doing these videos periodically, mostly just depending on how many questions I actually get. If we can do it every week, we can. If we can only do it every month, that's fine by me too. At least half of the content is you guys asking me questions, so it's kind of up to all of you to keep the series going as much as it is for me. If you guys watch it and keep asking me questions, I'm gonna keep making it. I hope you enjoyed this kind of weird experimental Q&A and hit that like button. Thank you to my channel members and patrons for making this video possible, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. I said that very robotically. I don't know what that was about.